What is going on, guys? I'm Jack and welcome back to Project Race Car. In today's video we are going to answer the question as to whether R34 GTTs are actually worth the money in today's market. So this is my 2001 R34 GTT if you guys are new to the channel, and I'm going to run through my personal opinion of whether these cars are actually worth the money in today's market. As you guys know, the prices of these cars have been creeping up, and just Japanese cars in general, so we're going to run through absolutely everything as to whether I think this car is actually worth the money these days. So yeah, let's get to it, guys. Let's go. So guys, the car is a 2001 R34 GTT, as I mentioned, so it is one of the later ones. Not that that makes a huge amount of difference in terms of price, but before we get going, guys, I want to know your thoughts. So do you think these sorts of cars, in particular R34 GTTs, do you think they are worth the money? Let us know in the comments down below. But as you will also see, and obviously if you're a regular viewer, you'll notice that it's got the GTR, essentially got a full GTR body kit on it with a few extra bits. So put the camera down here, it's obviously got the wider arches, rear bumper, and one at the front. It's got the GTR front end as well. So that obviously makes a difference, guys, as you know, to the price, as you'd probably expect. So I would probably estimate the value of this car to around 25 to 30k, I reckon, in its current form. It has done quite a lot of miles, this one, so it's on 156,000 miles, not kilometers, miles. So it's definitely high mileage, but still runs absolutely sweet. The engine's been well looked after, which is obviously very important. So I think that's personally a conservative estimate. I've seen these sorts of cars go for more than that, you know, with the GTR body kits, which you are obviously going to be paying some of a premium for. The amount of work that actually goes into converting them is quite high, and obviously the cost of the parts and things like that. So a stock GTT these days is probably going to cost you somewhere around 25k with, you know, stock body panels, stock engine, bone stock, basically. Which is pretty crazy when you think about it, guys. These cars not so long ago were, you know, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15,000. So the price increase recently, you know, is absolutely mental. And we're going to get on to in a minute as to why the price of these cars have actually gone up as well. So if you're interested to understand why the market is the way it is at the moment, I'm going to try and break down some of the things as well as to sort of the reasons behind the cost increase of these cars. So guys, why are these cars so expensive? Before I answer that question, I think because it is now currently not raining and we are currently in the middle of Storm Eunice, if you're in the UK, you'll know what that means and how bad the weather actually is today. It's currently sort of worn off, so I think now is the perfect time to jump in the car and we'll answer this question out on the road. So let's go. Let's get it started up, get it warmed up, and get on the road. Let's go. So guys, we are in the car. Hopefully the audio and the video is okay. I've had an absolute mare. Basically, I tried to record it on my phone with a lav mic, and the audio was absolutely terrible. So I'm gonna have to film it all again. And now the GoPro app's playing up, so I can't see the angle that I'm actually recording at. So all in all, a really brilliant day, guys. However, nonetheless, we are still going to get a video out for you guys as promised. So, like I said, we're in the car now, and obviously we're going to be talking about why are these cars so expensive, right? So, there's a few factors, and I could talk at length about this, but I'm not going to in this video. I'm going to try and keep it as concise as possible because that's obviously what you guys are interested in. However, if you do want me to do a full video on sort of prices or stuff of these cars, or Japanese cars in general, let us know down in the comments below, and I can do that. So, why are Skyline GTTs, R34 GTTs specifically, so expensive right now? Well, there's a few things. Obviously, they're just popular cars, right, guys? So the market is driven by supply and demand. So people want the cars, they're happy to pay the money for them, so that's what sets the price for the market. That's true of all cars, but why are these so much more expensive? So part of the reason is just because they're popular cars. As I said, people want them because of, you know, Fast and Furious, and just they're worried that the way the world's going with electric cars and stuff like that, they're never going to be able to experience these cars. So they're thinking, well, now's the time to buy them. So that's what they're doing. People are going out and buying them. So on that note as well, the new car market is recovering a little bit now, but people haven't been able to get new cars, like brand new, you know, factory cars, because of the shortage of labour and parts, and all to do with COVID and Brexit and all kinds of things. So what people are doing is they've got 30 grand lying around for a new car, 40 grand or whatever they've got. They're going to go, oh, well, I'll just go and buy a Skyline then, you know, instead, and I'll buy a £5,000, you know, Golf to drive around in every day, and then I'll have my Skyline. So that's happening a little bit as well, I think. So, you know, we sort of covered it earlier in the video, but a stock GTT is probably going to set you back 25k pounds as of recording this video. Prices are obviously a bit different around the rest of the world. Japan obviously a bit different, and the US and Australia and so on. But realistically, if you want, you know, the iconic Bayside Blue with GTR, you know, fenders, wings, all that sort of stuff, you are realistically these days looking upwards of £35,000, which is absolutely mental, let's be honest. So guys, one other thing I forgot to include when I re-recorded this section of the video, although I have mentioned it before, is obviously the 25-year rule in the US. These cars, the R34s, are becoming legal in a couple of years' time. So what people are doing is they're buying the cars up in Japan, in the UK and Australia, storing them there, ready for when they can import them into the US, and there's plenty of companies like Top Rank and etc. that are doing that, you know, storing the cars in Japan. So that's also you know, increasing the cost of the cars to buy, because more people are buying them, it's driving the price up, etc. So yeah, just wanted to include that. Anyway, back to the video for now. Anyway, back on topic for the purpose of this video. So are they worth that sort of money? Well, it's a difficult one to answer really, because in terms of drivers' cars, you know, pure, if you just take everything else out of it for a second, and as a driver's car, are they worth it? It's kind of hard to justify at that price from how well they drive. They're not bad cars, they're great, well, they're great cars, as we all know. But compared to modern cars, you know, being 20 whatever years old now, 23 years old, 22 years old, do they drive as well as a modern car? Probably not in terms of just pure stats, right? In terms of, you know, 0 to 60, handling, how fast they can get around the Nürburgring, all that sort of stuff. No, they don't. But that's not the point of these cars, right? You know, they don't make cars that sound as good as this anymore, really, in my opinion. There's more factors at play here, right? So, you know, people want these cars, as I mentioned, because they are childhood dreams for them. You know, they've seen them on films, you know, Initial D, Fast and Furious, that sort of stuff. And those sorts of people are now getting to the age, like myself, where they're getting further on in life, and they're, you know, they're 30 or 40, and they're earning decent money, and they're like, right, I'm going to go buy one. Which is basically what I did, right, guys? So, and it's really cool that I get to, you know, share my experiences with the car with you and what I've picked up along the way, you know, and obviously building the car as well. So, if you are a subscriber, thank you very much for, you know, just going to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for continuing on our journey with us. So if you are new, obviously hit the like button if you're enjoying it so far, and consider subscribing as well for more content on the Skyline and Ollie's Evo. We also have an Evo on the channel, which has been a bit on the back burner recently, but there'll be a video coming to explain why that is. So that's sort of the reason they're very expensive at the moment. I was lucky, I got mine just before they sort of spiked. More recently, I got mine just 2 years ago this week, actually. So I was reasonably lucky with a purchase on mine. It does have high miles, but that's not too bad because the engine is pretty bulletproof, and it seems to have been looked after, which is good news. So I don't know if you can hear the noise, guys, but it doesn't get old at all. That pretty much covers like why they're expensive. So another thing I want to touch on before we get on to my conclusion as to whether I think they're actually worth it or not is the investment side of things, guys, because it is important, and it does factor in to the justification for buying these sorts of cars. So with Skyline specifically, but not just limited to, obviously if you buy one or if you've bought one in the past, you're not really going to lose any money on it unless you do something stupid to it, like, I don't know, put an M3 engine in it or something that's like not purist and all that sort of stuff, or you crash it or anything like that. But if you look after it, not necessarily treat it as an investment in the sense that it's going to live in a garage and never be used, because that's definitely not what I'm doing with this one, and you would have seen it. You do have to look after them if you want to, if you want to retain your investment, but you're not really going to lose any money, which is excellent news. You should in fact potentially get more money out than you put in, which is always really nice, and that doesn't happen very often in life with things, especially if you buy new stuff. So yeah, so that's super cool, and that was one of my justifications for buying it, was that, well, I don't really know how much it's going to go up, but as long as I get the money back that I put into it, which so far I have, if I were to sell it today, that's going to happen, which is great. In terms of all of that, what is my conclusion, and do I think they're actually worth the money? As I said, as a driver's car, probably not. No. In terms of what you actually get from a performance and a handling side of things, there are probably better cars for 25, 30, 40 grand or whatever. You could buy a nice Porsche, or an Ariel Atom, or whatever. There's a million different options, but that, I've said it before, is not what these cars are about. So it's super cool to have this car, and it would be kind of a hard sell at 30k. Like, if I were to have to buy one today, taking out YouTube and all that sort of things, which is again part of the justification for buying it, but not totally. Taking all that side of things out of it, it would be a hard sell for me at 30k. However, if I bought it knowing that I may not keep it forever, keep it for 5, 10 years or whatever, and then get pretty much all or most of the money that I put into it back, then in my eyes, guys, it is a win. Because if I had the money, I would definitely buy one. With that, if you were going to lose money on it, it's a completely different story. And that's part of the reason I don't spend a lot of money on modern cars, because at the end of the day, if you buy an RS3 or an M3 or an M2 or whatever, you're going to lose money on it at some point. If you buy a newer one, obviously they get to a certain point where they hold their value. But that side of things, yeah, guys, I would definitely recommend, if you have the money and you have the ability to buy one of these, buy one before they become ridiculous. And that will happen, I think. The GTRs are sort of already there, right? And so a lot of this does apply to the GTRs and other Japanese cars as well, everything I've talked about in this video. But at the end of the day, yes, I do think they're worth the money, guys, if you factor everything in, definitely. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I do enjoy talking about this stuff. It's something I'm sort of passionate about in terms of markets and costs, investments, and all that sort of stuff. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the like, as I said, and if you want to see more of these sorts of videos, let us know down in the comments below, and also hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out as well. So on that note, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you again soon. Bye.